The night on Highway 9 was a black mirror. It held the cold, distant stars and nothing else. A small town slept nearby, its dreams undisturbed by the hum of the empty road. But the quiet was about to break. A silver car cut through the darkness. It carried 3 girls. Their laughter was a bright, fleeting sound against the engine's roar. They were young. Their future felt as wide and open as the highway stretching before them. From a hidden turnoff, a police cruiser watched. Its engine was a low growl, a predator waiting in the shadows. The officer inside was a familiar face in the small town. He was a man people trusted with their safety, with their children, with their lives. His name was Officer Miller. His pursuit was quiet, deliberate, and unseen. The cruiser closed the distance quickly. The driver, a girl named Sarah, glanced back. Her friends kept singing, unaware of the growing tension. Officer Miller did not flash his lights yet. Sarah's hands tightened on the wheel. The crash was coming. The sound was a violent scream of metal against metal. The silver car spun out of control, a broken toy tossed aside. Glass exploded into 1,000 tiny diamonds that glittered in the moonlight. Then, there was silence. A profound, deafening silence. Officer Miller's cruiser was already there, its lights now flashing. He stepped out. He looked at the 3 girls, and the night held its breath. 2 girls lay still inside the twisted metal frame. Their names were Jessica and Maria. The 3rd girl was pinned against the door. Her name was Emily. She was barely conscious, a fragile thread of life. Her eyes were fixed on the officer above the wreck. He reached for his radio, fingers hovering. He did not press it. He did not call for an ambulance. Instead, a different thought took hold. A cold, calculated decision formed. He was the only authority. He could shape the story. He moved with quiet urgency. His actions were precise, almost rehearsed. He reached in and pulled out an empty whiskey bottle. He had placed it there himself before the chase. He took a cloth and wiped his fingerprints from the bottle. He wiped the steering wheel with the same cloth.
Teenagers. They were drinking.
He reported a single car accident, said he discovered the wreck on patrol. The sheriff, Tom Gable, arrived at the scene. He was a veteran lawman. He had kind eyes. He had a steady hand. He listened as Miller recounted his story, plausible, practiced. Sheriff Gable took notes. He trusted his officer. Meanwhile, Emily was lifted onto a stretcher. Her mind fought through the fog, the blinding headlights, the feeling of being pushed, the officer's face above her.
The officer, he was there. He lied.
The silent witness was beginning to find her voice. The town mourned Jessica and Maria, a quiet vigil for 2 lives taken too soon. Among them sat Officer Miller, solemn, thanked, praised. The narrative solidified, a tragic accident. No one questioned the report. Sheriff Gable arrived to take her statement. She was ready. He expected to hear Miller's report confirmed. Her voice trembled, then steadied.
It followed us with no lights on. He bumped us. I felt it.
The car started to spin, Officer Miller walking up, face emotionless.
The bottle wasn't ours. He took it from his cruiser. I saw him.
The way he moved, careful, leaving no trace. Sheriff Gable's pen hovered. He saw truth in her eyes. The whisper of truth was loud enough to shake his trust. Justice demanded to be heard. He returned to his office and closed the door. 2 conflicting reports. Duty clear, path fraught. To investigate Miller was to question his department and friendships. He could not investigate this himself. He requested an independent review. He invited outsiders into his town, into his department. A simple call set events in motion. Whispers turned to speculation. People chose sides. Some defended Miller. Others began to doubt. Small details didn't add up. The sheriff stood at a crossroads, and the town with him. He chose the harder right. The state investigators arrived with methodical professionalism. They re-examined Highway 9. They built a narrative from evidence, not claims. He stuck to his story, But under pressure, cracks formed. They picked apart his timeline and decisions. A small store had a camera pointed at the highway. It showed Miller following the silver car. His cruiser accelerated and tapped the rear bumper. They found fingerprints on the whiskey bottle. The result, Officer Miller. He wiped it, but not perfectly. Video, fingerprints, and Emily's story aligned. The hero was unraveling, exposed by cold facts. The evidence was undeniable. The blue wall of silence was tested. They had shared patrols, coffee, family stories. But the evidence was too powerful to ignore. The town's reaction mixed shock and anger. They had been lied to by the system.
Justice on Highway 9.
He had to show no one was above the law. Trust would be rebuilt, with accountability. Next came the weight of justice. The day of the arrest was gray and overcast. Sheriff Gable walked out, face set like stone. They drove to Officer Miller's home. He knew why they were there.
You have the right to remain silent.
The click of metal was the only sound. The trial was a somber affair. Every seat was filled. Emily took the stand, voice unwavering. Security footage, fingerprint report, conflicting statements. But evidence was overwhelming. The jury returned with a guilty verdict. Miller was convicted and sentenced to a long prison term. The badge was gone, so was the myth. It would not bring their daughters back, but it honored the truth. Years passed. The town of Harmony Creek began to heal, but it was never the same. The cover-up became part of its identity, a scar and a lesson. Trust was rebuilt slowly, one interaction at a time. Sheriff Gable enforced body cameras and oversight. Emily became a quiet symbol of courage. She finished school and moved forward. She honored Jessica and Maria by living with purpose. Sometimes she returned to the spot where everything changed. The case became a cautionary tale. A single lie can destroy lives, careers, and public faith. Truth, though buried, comes to light. It cleanses, even as it reveals scars. The scar on Highway 9 remains, in paint and in memory. It is a testament to a survivor who refused silence and a sheriff who chose duty over friendship.
He lied.